Boreham Wood. 9:30 meeting in Boreham Wood. Is there anything worse? Yes, 9:30 meeting in Boreham Wood. But hey, that's how it goes. Good morning, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you are, YouTube. So again, as you can see, rather grim, damp and gritty morning, so not on the bike again today, but hoping to be back on the bike very, very, very soon. So just the usual early in the morning on the way to a meeting, and thought, well, why not take the opportunity to shoot a vlog? So I was doing a little bit of work on the FZR recently, because that's another reason for not being on the bike. It's in pieces at the moment. Nothing serious. I had a little bit of a problem with the thermostat, which obviously I changed the thermostat, and there's a joint in the water system that's got a leak too. So I've drained that down, changing that. It's no big deal. But also, you may recall on one of the last vlogs of last year, I mentioned that I needed to balance the carbs because it's running a little bit rough. And this roughness had got progressively worse. It would start up, and at low RPM it was almost like it was on 3 cylinders. Now, we did a vlog about Chinese parts, which I'll link to at the end of this video, middle of last year. And while it's true that the vast majority of parts now coming out of China are remarkably good, China still has a huge problem with fakes. And one of the things that's faked a lot is spark plugs. And I looked through eBay when I purchased my spark plugs when I did the restoration, and there was a whole variety of different price points. And in the past I've used a company called sparkplugs.co.uk, and they are a normal retailer, and they seem to be, or had been, very, very cheap. I noticed their prices now seem slightly on the more expensive side. So I thought, well, I know they're genuine, and I found some other spark plugs online that were a bit cheaper but still nearer their end of the price, and I thought, well, they're probably genuine too. I went on to NGK's website, and when the spark plugs arrived, I thought, well, you know what, I'll better check these. And I went on to NGK's website, and there is a whole section on there on how to spot counterfeit plugs. So I went through these counterfeit spark plug checkpoints, and there's about 10 checks you could do, various places of printing that's right and wrong, various fonts that are wrong, logos missing off boxes and things like that. So I went through their website and looked at the various pointers for counterfeit plugs, and out of the things to check for genuine plugs, mine had 9 out of the 10 things. I thought, okay, well, that's got to be, I'm pretty sure they're genuine, because it's got like 9 out of the 10 points for counterfeit plugs. So satisfied they were genuine, I fitted them, and the misfire, the roughness when cold, actually is a plug breaking down. So I've ordered them from sparkplugs.co.uk now, because of course they're guaranteed to be genuine plugs, and it looks like I had a set of fake plugs. So I think it's safe to assume now that every single set of spark plugs being sold on eBay is fake, and some of these fakes are really good, but they still suffer these problems. And the reason I came to the conclusion of the fake plug is actually a spark plug problem on a bike is actually very easy to diagnose, because if it's a coil problem or anything past before the coils, like an ignition pickup, it'll always affect, on an older bike like mine, it'll affect 2 cylinders, not 1. If you've got 1 cylinder causing a problem, it's one of 2 things. It's a carburation issue, or it's an HT lead or spark plug issue. I went through the carburation and everything's spot on, nothing's come off, nothing's blocked, and the fact that it clears itself up suggests it's not that. It's just a plug that's starting to foul, as it's not burning well initially. So it pretty much points only to the spark plug. I've done a bit more reading, and I'm satisfied that's what it is. So yeah, Chinese quality parts generally improving, but do watch out for fakes. Only buy your spark plugs, and I'd say, to be honest, oil filters from brand name renowned people. And sort of value for money brought me on to one of the other things that I actually shot a vlog for about 8 or 9 months ago as a sort of backup one, but I wasn't happy with the audio in it, so I'll sort of re-go over the points now. And that was running cost of cars. And this car that we're in now, I've seen it a few times, and you'll see it here and there during this year, is a Seat Leon. I purchased this 4 years ago now, and it had 71,000 miles on the clock, and I paid £1,250 for it. And people are often saying, oh yeah, but you've got to go to an electric car or something like that. And there is one running cost that nobody factors in when they change a vehicle, and yet is the biggest running cost of all, and that's depreciation. This car cost me £1,250. I've done nearly 82,000 miles in it. It hasn't put a foot wrong, and it's probably still worth £1,000. So realistically, even when you factor in the cost of the fuel and so forth, as soon as you've got your brand new electric car, now whether you've bought it outright or whether you've got it on finance, or it's even worse if you've got it on finance, once you factor in depreciation, I can't save money with an electric car. I can't save money with a newer, smaller car, because I don't spend the £200 a month to run this car that the depreciation would cost me on a new car. So when you're buying your next car, think really carefully, because quite often the one cost the salesman won't mention and gloss over, they'll discuss tailpipe emissions, although they won't discuss cradle to grave emissions, because obviously 90% of the car's pollution is in moving raw materials around and actually building the thing. So once your car's built, keep it on the road as long as is reasonable. Don't just chop it in for a new one. It's not better for the environment. That is a complete myth. And they won't discuss depreciation very much. They'll often try and give you guaranteed buyback figures and things like that. But you've got to remember that if you're buying that car on a finance plan, those figures only apply if you're going in for another car on their finance plan. It's a way to keep you within their system, because you'd lose too much money chopping it in elsewhere. And that's all being considered when putting those packages together. They're not quite as good value as you think. So yeah, top and bottom of it is, if you're currently running a standard car and it's paid for, and it's at the bottom of its depreciation curve, i.e. it's sort of 9 or 10 years old or thereabouts, as long as the car's running well, keep using it, keep driving it, and it's going to be the cheapest motoring you can have. So if you like these videos, hit the like and subscribe buttons. I'm trying to work my way through this lovely traffic to get up to the motorway, and I'm going to be up a scaffolding later on today as well, so that's the fun that is my life. But such is life. If you like these videos, hit the like and subscribe buttons, and we'll see you soon.